Thanks for dropping by. So the content of this video is to see what is the minimum hardware requirements to play and edit video footage in 2015. So just to give you a little bit of background, my camera, my latest video camera is the NX1, and I purchased that camera because of its ability to internally shoot 4K video. So that's all very good. Now the camera was so advanced in terms of its feature set that Samsung included the codec. Instead of H264, which was the industry standard, they came up with a codec called H265, and this was really taxing my older PC-based system. I had a Generation 2 i7 chip with 8 gigabytes of RAM and a Radeon HD 6800 video card, and it was really struggling. One of the other drawbacks of the codec was that video editing packages like Premiere Pro didn't support that codec. And what you had to do was you had to convert the footage from H265, which is a very efficient codec, to the older, less efficient H264. And this was a time-consuming process, and it created a big delay because, again, the software for doing the conversion was pretty sketchy. So Samsung's own conversion software would take several hours to convert maybe an hour or an hour and a half of footage. So I decided to upgrade my system, and there about a month ago. This is really the purpose of this video. So what did I choose? I chose an Asus Z170 or Z170, depending on which part of the world you're in, Deluxe motherboard. And the reason I chose that motherboard was that it could support the latest Skylake, Intel Skylake i7 processor. So this is a 6700 processor. It's an 8-core processor running at 3.4 gigahertz. Now, the reason I chose this processor over other less expensive processors was that Intel has embedded in this CPU dedicated support for the H265 HEVC codec. So that was important for me. Additionally, I installed 16 gigabytes of Crucial Ballistix DD4 RAM on the system, and it's running Windows 10. Now, again, note for this video is that I do not have a dedicated graphics card. I'm relying solely on the graphics embedded in the Skylake CPU. So that's the background, and let's move on to the footage. So Cyberlink's Power DVD player is my main DVD player. Now, for some reason, the Snagit software, when I play a video, won't capture the Power DVD footage remarkably. So I'm just going to drop in here and pick some footage so we can have a look at it and establish its bona fides. So let's take this particular clip and let's just prove to ourselves that it's actually what it claims to be, 4K footage using the HEVC codec, and it is. It's HEVC, and the resolution there is 4000 by 2000 approximately. So we'll close out of that. So I'm going to play this particular clip not with the Power DVD player because for some reason the Snagit software won't play the footage. I haven't figured out the reason why. So I'm going to use Windows Media Player, which isn't as good a media player as the Power DVD player for the H265 footage. And another thing to bear in mind in this little demo comparison is that I'm capturing this video using the Snagit software, and so that's competing with video resources as well. Now, if I wasn't capturing this video, those video resources that are being devoted to the Snagit capture would be available for playing your footage. So, in other words, the system would be even faster. So what you're seeing here is the footage being played, but with this program running in the background. So that's competing for resources. I think most people would accept that. So let's just play this with Windows Media Player. Now, I've muted the volume because otherwise it'll start competing with my microphone. So here's some of our guys nailing metal, what's known as metal lathe, to the surface. The footage here is stabilized using my Nebula 4000 gimbal, and also this onboard digital stabilization there. So that's my that's my gimbal getting the heebie-jeebies there. Does that occasionally, and that's panning around. So Windows Media Player, as I said, isn't the best program in the world for playing H265 footage. It's not as smooth. It does drop occasional frames. I blame the software. I don't actually blame the hardware, because the Power DVD plays very smoothly. I'm just sorry I can't show you it, because for some reason Snagit isn't capturing it. So we've looked at H265 footage being played by a standard media player, Windows Media Player in this case, and it gave a pretty good result for itself. But I think the real test comes when we play a package or activate a package like Premiere Pro, and we look at how footage, H265 footage, plays. So this version of Premiere Pro, it's the cloud version, it's 2015.1, and the .1 is important because it's the latest upgrade and it contains native support for H265 HEVC codec, whereas previously you'd have had to convert your footage to H264. Now Premiere Pro, as you guys and girls probably know, it's a very resource hungry package. It's a very top heavy package, and it'll tax most systems. But I want to just show you here that we're playing this on the source monitor at full resolution, and you can hear the background audio scrubbing away there, and I've just turned it down so it doesn't intrude, and the microphone picks up the background audio. All we're interested in is the video, and as you can see there, it's playing, and I've got the ability to scrub through the various frames very quickly at full resolution. So previously with my old PC before the upgrade, I simply couldn't do this. The H265 would crash Premiere Pro straight away. But even using H264 footage, Premiere Pro would struggle, whereas I find this upgrade has given me lots of power. And once again, please bear in mind that I'm using Snagit in the background to record this, so it's competing for its own resources there as well. So let's move on to the program monitor. Again, in the interest of thoroughness, I'm just showing this. It's on full resolution again, and I have the audio muted here, not that that matters, and it's playing smooth as butter. Again, this was shot with a Samsung NX1 using a Nebula 4000 handheld gimbal. Not the greatest gimbal in the world, shaky enough sort of gimbal, but it's doing its job. This is a construction site, not the ideal environment for sensitive electronic equipment. So as you can see, I can scrub through that. When it comes to exporting clips on Premiere Pro, again, I can select any codec I want, I can select any format I want, and the PC just grinds through it. It might take, I'm sure, I have no doubt it'll take longer than if I had a dedicated video card. I'm sure I'd save a lot of time that way. But one of the tricks I use is to queue your videos for converting, and then when you've finished your video editing and your eyes are tired, just hit export and walk away. Let the computer do its job. It might take an hour, it might take 2 hours. I've even left it overnight, and so waiting around for footage to be exported isn't a deal breaker for me. It might be a deal breaker for others that need to turn around footage very quickly. If that's the case, then I guess a dedicated video card and more RAM would be required. That's a personal decision. So I'm going to leave you now. I think I've covered all the bases here. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked the short little video, give us a thumbs up or subscribe, or both even. Thank you.